What's up, everybody, and welcome to my AEW Dynamite review. A lot of things happen on this show tonight. Let's see if AEW can try to go another million in the ratings, which I highly doubt, but then again, they were unopposed last week anyways, but yeah, let's see what they got going on in this show tonight for AEW, which immediately they had the Lucha... Well, I said Lucha. You know, I was about to say Lucha Express, the Jungle Express out there, until the Young Bucks came out there and super kicked the referee, which they left with the cameras following them and saw Tony Khan and threw some money at him, basically, you know, paying for their fine with a lot of money, since I guess they paid like that, and walked away as FTR was looking on, which I guess they're still trying to make the Young Bucks serious, which for some reason... I'm trying to buy into it, but I'm not really buying into it at the same time. It's like, okay, I guess their new thing now is they're just going to walk around and super kick anything that they see. It's like they super kicked that Marvez guy last week. They super kicked the referee. I don't know who they'll super kick next. They'll probably super kick Jim Ross for all I know, or Tony Schiavone or something. So they're just going around kicking everybody, which they're trying to make them look serious. I'm somewhat trying to buy into it, but I'm not buying into it at the same time. But as FTR looked on, they went against, they came out to go against the Jungle Express. This was good. This was real good. I like this match. FTR, they had a good timing out there too. I did like this match. They basically, isolated Jungle Boy, which, pretty much beating him throughout a lot of the match. Luchasaurus coming back in with a good hot tag and everything, taking down FTR, and ended up with, FTR having multiple dodge near falls, where Wheeler dodging with Jungle Boy until, I think Cash, was it Cash or one of them, and they end up pretty much holding the pinfall to hold Jungle Boy down as one held the other one's arm so they can get the 3 count for the win, which the referee did not see. So FTR basically found a way to win still without the referee looking. But this was not a bad tag match, though. This was good, real good. Like I said, I've said many things about the Jungle Express before. When you just put Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus out there, it's not bad, not bad at all. You just don't involve the midget out there with them, and then you got things going out good. As long as you keep the midget away as much as possible, it won't be a bad match. So, between FTR and Jungle Express, not a bad match. Not bad at all, and, FTR being heels, using heel tactics for the win, so that wasn't bad. Next, Matt Hardy, I guess, I thought Matt Hardy was going to be gone for a minute, but he was on the ground because I guess he was, with FTR as their manager and everything, but since they got taken out, which I guess was by Jericho and Hager telling Matt Hardy, he's like, yeah, man, should put a lot of ice on that knee of yours, okay? It looks like you won't be able to make it later into the night, which I didn't even know if Matt Hardy was even on the show tonight. I thought said he was taking time off after last week or something, but he's still here, folks, but... next, Hangman Page went against Frankie Kazarian. Kenny Omega was on commentary, which Kenny is not the best promo cutter, and honestly, not the best on promo either. When on commentary, I should say. But between Hangman and Kaz, this was really good. This is a great match. I liked it. Liked it a lot. Don't know why we don't see this version of Kaz more often, because him and Hangman went in out there. I'm like, man, this is a match you could have put on pay-per-view when you think about it too. This was great, really great. Which I even like the finish of it also, because Hangman was trying to set up for it is buckshot lariat, but Kaz kept stopping him and hit him with a cutter and whatnot. But Page pretty much went back outside, then was gonna go for it again. Kaz had took him down. He was going to go for his leg drop, but Page got out the way. Kaz did a roll after he tried to go for his leg drop, but ended up running to the buckshot lariat for the win. I know Omega ended up leaving, I guess not going to celebrate with Hangman, but I like this match a lot. This was great. Some may would have called it a spot fest, but both Hangman and Kaz, those two were great. I would like to see more of that in the future, because I don't even know what they got Kaz doing right now. and he's not really been around SCU a lot. They usually got him kind of watching to the crowd half the time, but he put on a great match with Hangman, and this was that was enjoyable. So that's one great match I could say throughout the night. MJF then came out with Wardlow, which he beat this Sean Dean dude in like 10 seconds with his Salt to the Earth armbar. But then he got on the microphone then and talked about he's an honest man, that Jon Moxley cheated during his match, and that he is undefeated, so he's the uncrowned, undefeated, undisputed champion AEW, and called Justin Roberts, what was it, you smooth talking schmuck, you will announce me as the champion right now, which he had Justin Roberts do. Well, you know, the undefeated, undisputed, uncrowned champion of AEW, and, you know, he was going to send Wardlow out there, but MJF also talked about, you know, nowadays in AEW, you got to be in a stable or some type of faction to be in AEW. And that's actually true, because almost like everybody, there's too many factions right now when you think about it. It's like anybody's in either a faction or a group or a tag team or a made-up tag team or some made-up faction. I swear it's like, 3-4 factions right now? And AEW, when you think about it, probably it's more than 3 or 4, but there's definitely a lot of factions in AEW, and he ain't lying about that. He's really not. And talked about, you know, since everybody's got all these factions going on right now, you know, maybe it's time for me to stop being a lone wolf and join a wolf pack. I'm not that wolf pack. We're not going to be causing mass destruction, become the new Bad Boys Wrestling, if you get what I mean. But he talked about maybe he won't be a lone wolf no more, but he still says, I'm better than you, and you know it. So that is something to check out. I don't know what they got MJF going for to form his own stable, or is he going to join his stable? I don't know what they got going with MJF right now, but he is right. It looks like the only reason how you're going to get ahead in this company, you got to be in some type of a group, or you got to be in some type of faction, which, yeah, I thought about this for a second right now. The only other company I know that does that has a whole bunch of groups and factions is New Japan and whatnot, because the only way you're going to get over someone over there, if you're not on your own, you're going to be in somebody's crew or something to get over with. So that is kind of way to go when you think about it. Say New Japan does that shit all the time right now, so I guess AEW is doing it. Next, Eddie Kingston was in the ring, I guess, you know, with the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade, and he talked about how he was not eliminated for the Casino Battle Royale, and that this is my crew, this is my family out here and whatnot, which he told Butcher and Blade, I guess, pulled these random guys, probably on Dark and whatnot, into the ring. They start beating them up, all 4 of them. He says, that's right, take them up, rough them up, just take them down and whatnot. And Kingston, you know, he went on to say, you know, listen, man, I got my business straight. We got everything straight, all right? But then he told Blade, you need to know what you got to do to get your house in order, so go take care of it. Which I don't know what he meant by that, but if you remember last week, he did say, where's your wife at and everything, so maybe he's going to get her, I don't know. But Kingston, you know, this whole I wasn't eliminated from the top rope thing, I guess it's going to go somewhere, because obviously, I don't know where they're going with this group between, you know, the Butcher and the Blade and, the Lucha Brothers or whatnot, because like I said, they've been taking too many L's, if you ask me, so I don't know where they're going with this, but we'll see what goes down with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston grabbing the mic, I just don't know where he's going with this whole I wasn't eliminated over the top rope thing. Private Party came out to go against Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. There's a lot of tag matches on this show, I swear to God it is every week, but this was not bad. Of course, everybody's going to sing along to Jericho's theme song, but this was good. Didn't really expect it was going to get that much time out here, but this was not a bad tag match. Whatnot. It did end up with Jericho dodging the swanton from Isaiah Cassidy and ended up hitting the Judas effect on him, but he ended up trying to beat up Cassidy right after, trying to put him into the walls of Jericho. Quinn came in and hit him with a Pele kick as Hager got him out of the ring and out of Dodge and whatnot. So, don't know if it'll be a rematch from this, but I guess that has something to do with the whole tag team titles right now, since everybody's like, then again, there's a lot of tag teams also. But probably will be a rematch next week, or Chris Jericho is probably going to be going against Mark Quinn next week. But not a bad tag match, I will say that. Not that bad at all. But yes, it's still funny to me, like I said with last week with Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. You have Santana Ortiz go after the titles. why did these two need to be a tag team? And why does Jericho need to go after the tag titles? That still doesn't make sense to me. Like, dude, you already got a tag team in the group, so why do you need to go for the tag titles? Makes no sense. Thunder Rosa went against Diamante for the NWA Women's Championship. This is the first time the NWA Women's Championship has been defended on AEW. I guess until NWA Power comes back at some point in time, we're going to defend this title on here. And this was a very good women's match. Once again, it's almost like ever since you brought in Thunder Rosa into AEW, it's like all of a sudden now all the women's matches are good for some reason. Maybe it's depending on who you put in the ring with her, or just depending on who you put in the ring in general. Ivelisse and Thunder Rosa are really good. Thunder Rosa was what? Cobra Moon and Lucha Underground. So both of these women are technically from Lucha Underground. And this was not a bad match. They had some good time out there. And I like this. I like this a lot. Thunder Rosa, I've said before, is great. Ivelisse is really good too. Like I said, this was actually a good women's match that actually had some timing out there. Not what they had last week. That was like, what, 2-3 minutes, and that was the entire commercial. This was good. Like I said a few weeks ago when she went against Serena Deeb, we need to see more matches like this if you want to take this division seriously, because the booking of the women is mostly horrible majority of the times. These are one of the bright spots that I can actually say that is really good, okay? And Thunder Rosa did end up winning with a tombstone on Ivelisse, so I enjoyed this match. I did like this match a lot. So yes, Thunder Rosa still retain the NWA Women's Champion. I still think it's probably gonna be some type of an NWA invasion, maybe. I don't know why. It's like I said, you got the women's champ out here. AEW keeps signing half their people. Could Magnus make an appearance on here sooner or later as the NWA champion himself? I don't know, but I still have some feeling an invasion may be happening. But next thing you know, Diamante got in the ring and attacked Thunder Rosa from behind. Ivelisse held up her title. But next thing you know, Hikaru Shida got in, pretty much knocked both of them out the ring. And she ended up getting the title, holding it for a second, which giving it back to Thunder Rosa, which obviously said this time it's going to be Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa again. But instead, for the AEW Women's Championship, it'll be for the NWA Women's Championship, because now it's kind of in reverse this time. She wants the NWA Women's title now. But overall, like I said, this was a good match. This is probably the second best women. I wouldn't say the best, but this is probably the second women's match I could say that has been really good in a while, since like 2-3 weeks ago, since the pay-per-view, and the Dynamite from a few weeks ago, also before All Out. So good stuff. Next, they went to Miro, who was working out with Kip Sabian, talking about how we're lifting and everything, and the best man and whatnot, which Miro was ready to fight, but he said, I'm going to provide you the best bachelor party ever, which, Penelope Ford just looked on. I still think they got Miro in the wrong place for some reason. I don't know, man. Like, you look at Kip Sabian and him, it's like, why is he paired with Kip Sabian again? Why is he teaming with this dude that's wearing a half-cut shirt and whatnot? I still think they could have just made Miro on his own. Like, the guy looks incredible right now, okay? But I don't know, like I said last week, why they put him with Kip Sabian, which this guy has literally done nothing but job to almost, I don't know how many people, and get beat up by the women. Penelope Ford, I don't even know where she's going at this point right now with Kip Sabian, but Miro, I don't know if this was the best idea to put him with him. I'm trying to give this time, but, he went on about that whole glass ceiling promo last week. We got to take shots to the WWE and whatnot. But, like I said, is there a ceiling right now with him being teamed with Kip Sabian? Because it's hard to really to get this guy seriously standing next to Miro, okay? It really is hard to take. Next, Lance Archer came out. Of course, he killed some random dude. Jake Roberts is out there talking about, would you rather see your heroes or turn them into a ghost, or would you exchange your pleasure for pain? He thinks they're all the same. But in politics, you find yourself in bed with strange bedfellows. And that he finds himself in that position right now, that they need 2 tag partners for next week. And he's going to, if he's going to lay in the bed with the devil, it might as well be a Tasmanian devil. So he called Taz out And Taz says, we're happy to do business with Arch, okay? He's brought his guys up, Cage and Ricky Starks and whatnot. They're a dangerous duo. But here's the deal. When you win that AEW championship, Brian Cage gets the first shot, as Taz said. But Archer says, all right, me and your boys are enemies, but the enemies are my enemies, which I guess, are my friends. And right now, he says AEW needs a new champion, a killer champion that he's going to whoop Jon Moxley's ass and take the belt from. He doesn't care about all that whining and crying, because October 14th, he will be the AEW champion. But next week, that the monster and the machine are gonna go Godzilla in AEW next week. But next, Jon Moxley came out, and as he was coming out, Archer was waiting for him. Next thing you know, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks came from behind. I guess they were dressed like fans or security or something. They started beating up Jon Moxley. But next thing you know, Will Hobbs, who they just signed today, by the way, came up with a chair, pretty much chasing him off. Moxley came and says, you got one hell of a team, but let me introduce you to Oakland's most violent right here, Will Hobbs, okay? This is the man I got on my team, my tag team partner, but we're going to need another man, all right? We're going to need a third man right here. So he looked in the camera and says, Darby Allin, you get your ass to Jacksonville. Next week, we are going to war, and we're going to fight, okay? So I guess we got the teams together next week. Jon Moxley, Will Hobbs, and Darby Allin versus Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks. Great segment. This was a really great segment. One of the, probably maybe the best one out of the entire night when you think about it. So I'm glad they got Will Hobbs in the fold. They just signed him today. Like I said, I don't know much about the guy, but like I said, he did a good showing in that Casino Battle Royale. I don't know what he's done on Dark, okay? I don't watch Dark, but, some people have told me some good things about him, but this guy, he has something, like I said. Will Hobbs, after last time I saw it, I was like, the guy's pretty decent, but I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. All right, Oakland's most violent, I like it. So a good way to get your new signee kind of somewhat in a big spot on this show, especially tagging with the world champion next week. So that is something I'm looking forward to next week. Great segment. But next was the main event. Which, one thing I will say, I guess AEW will be on next Wednesday, but I guess they're doing some late night Dynamite thing after one of the NBA games on Tuesday. I don't know what's going on with that. I know they showed some of the card, but I guess I'll try to check that out, or I'll record it on Tuesday or something. But we'll see what this late night Dynamite is about. But in the main event, though, we got the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent. I pull out my Beretta. I just like saying that now. Trent Beretta to go against Santana and Ortiz in a parking lot brawl or parking lot fight, which of course basically is a parking lot brawl with some of the wrestlers standing around and the cars and whatnot. Santana Ortiz wearing face paint. I actually like this. This was actually like a fight. This was a brawl. I thought both of these teams kicked the shit out of each other. Trent doing a freaking senton on the top of the car onto the hood of it, which looked pretty brutal. Like I said, there was weapons involved. I know Ortiz was bleeding from, I guess, his eye or shoulder or whatnot. Chuck Taylor pretty much throwing Ortiz into like one of the barricades. Ortiz ended up throwing a sledgehammer through one of the windows out there. Even powerbombing Trent onto, I guess, on the top of the car, but then Santana Ortiz ended up powerbombing Trent onto the window of the car, which his back was just bleeding all over the place. Trent was taking some hard shots out there. Guy was bleeding from his eye and his back. I'm like, these guys are really beating the hell out of each other, all right? This was a good fight. This was a very good brawl out there. I enjoyed it. And when they took out Trent, they went back after Chuck Taylor, which Santana just started beating the hell out of him then. And then he had a baseball bat. But next thing you know, Orange Cassidy came in and he hit his punch, or Superman punch. And I guess he had a chain wrapped around it. And he picked up Santana and I guess gave him to Chuck Taylor to hit a power drive on the top of the car hood. Trent ended up hitting this dude buster like move or whatever it was called, the crunchy, onto one of the top of the car, onto like this big piece of wood, and pinning Ortiz for the win. And then next thing you know, as Trent was bleeding all over the place, they went to his mom's van, his mom Sue or whatnot. I guess she had a whole new van. They all got into it, and his mom hit the middle finger before they drove away. Okay, one thing I will say about this parking lot brawl. Number one, I actually liked this fight. This was good. Real good. The only thing I feel like they didn't really need from this, which even I thought they kind of lost me on this when they had Orange Cassidy come through from the trunk just to save them. Like, did they really need to save? Honestly, I think Santana and Ortiz really needed the big win because they barely win half the time anyways. But I would have done without the Orange Cassidy spot and bringing in Trent's mom so they could all jump into the van and drive off. The middle finger wasn't that bad, but I don't think they really needed that. Like I said, I thought all four of these guys beat the hell out of each other. They looked like they went to war. It was gritty. It was a brawl. It was a fight. These guys were basically kicking the shit out of each other. They weren't doing no insanity spots out there. They went in ready for a fight, I should say, a big fight. I just think they didn't need the Orange Cassidy spot. That's where they lost me. As soon as they brought Orange Cassidy out there, they kind of lost me on that. So I still think there's still a good brawl overall in this parking lot fight. I don't want to say parking lot brawl because I think WWE says that. So parking lot fight for AEW, but that wasn't that bad. Overall, AEW, really not a bad show tonight. I didn't like last week's show. I know they end up getting the ratings, but I didn't really like last week's show. This one was better. I like the segment between Archer and Mox, except that 6-man tag for next week. Hangman versus Kaz was really good. FTR versus the Jungle Express. Thunder Rosa versus Eva Lee's. The parking lot brawl to some extent, I will say. Even Jericho and Hager going against Private Party wasn't really that bad also. A lot of the show wasn't that bad tonight. I will say that. The only thing I probably would have went out was with the Miro and the Kip Sabian thing. Didn't really think needed that on the show. What else? The Eddie Kingston segment was just kind of there to be there. MJF, I am interested to see what his group is going to be. Or, talks about being in a wolf pack, but still being a lone wolf. Maybe he won't be a lone wolf no more. So, don't know where they're going with that, but I am interested to see. This is probably one of the better editions of AEW. They actually had a very big show tonight. So, I don't know what's going to be. Well, I know what they got for next week, but the card looks pretty stacked for that, too. I probably try to check out that late night Dynamite, wherever they're going with that. So we'll see what goes on after they play one of the NBA games next Tuesday. But like I said, AEW, not bad. Good to see the debut. I wouldn't say debut since he was already on the pay-per-view, but I should say the newest signee, Will Hobbs, being involved in this also. So AEW, they did not really have a bad show tonight this time. Last week, woof, that was kind of rough. That, like I said, last week was really rough. When you put Jericho and Hager against Nutella and Sonny Kiss out there, that's bad, okay? This was at least somewhat up a step ahead of right direction this week. So, yeah, some stuff you could say was still a little bit bad here and there, but some of it not really bad this time. Other than that, I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Hooded890. Tell me what you think about this show tonight for Dynamite. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.